Welcome back, everyone. In Israel, a fierce boycott movement is causing some business owners to really brace for the worst.
Yeah, and it's even making Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu admit that he plans to step up efforts to fight back. CNN's Oren Lieberman examines this growing movement and the looming financial toll it could take on Israel.
The latest harvest is ready for bottling at Psagot, an Israeli winery in the West Bank. Owner Jacob Berg says business is growing, but so is a boycott movement against his wine produced in the settlements.
It's not the final customer, it's not the majority of the world that believe in those things. It's really it's very, very small organization, few organization. The problem is that they have a lot of power and they have a lot of money.
That organization is BDS, the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions Movement. Co-founder Omar Barghouti started BDS a decade ago to force Israel to end what he says is a system of discrimination against Palestinians. His movement has activists in many countries and tens of thousands of followers on social media, growing at least in part, he says, because of Netanyahu's right-wing government.
Israel is realizing, perhaps a bit late, that BDS is quite serious. As a human rights movement based on international law, as a non-violent, non-sectarian movement, it is quite effective.
Last week, the CEO of Orange, a telecommunications company owned in part by the French government, said in Cairo that he would pull Orange out of Israel if he could. BDS activists called his remarks a success, but within days he apologized, saying his remarks were misinterpreted and that he opposes any boycott of Israel. In Las Vegas, Jewish-American billionaires and political mega-donors Sheldon Adelson and Chaim Saban pledged to fight BDS. Saban spoke with Channel 2 Israel about the Orange CEO and the boycott movement.
This isn't over. This is the beginning, and any company that chooses to boycott business in Israel is going to look at this case, and once we're done, they're going to think twice whether they want to take on Israel or not.
Israeli politicians have united against BDS. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised to go on the offensive against the movement. We will gather forces in Israel and around the world to shatter the lies of our enemies, he says, and we will fight for Israel's right to live in peace and security, to live at all. Anti-BDS activists have accused Barghouti and his followers of racism and anti-Semitism, charges Barghouti denies.
We are targeting a system of injustice. This should never be conflated with an attack on any group of people based on their identity. BDS targets institutions, complicit institutions, not individuals.
Israel's economy will take a hit from the BDS movement and similar nonviolent resistance, a $15 billion hit, according to a new study by the RAND Corporation. The study says the Palestinians will also take a hit, nearly $2.5 billion, a price Barghouti says is worth it. Oren Lieberman, CNN, Jerusalem.
Pope Francis and Russian President Vladimir Putin